Welcome back. And now we have already discussed what is a tariff, what are the different types of tariffs, and all those things, objectives and desirable characteristics of a tariff. Now we'll see the problems on tariff. And this is the last video of the Unit 5, probably the last video of the syllabus. Let's take the first problem. A consumer has a maximum demand of 200 kilowatt at 40% load factor. If the tariff is 100 rupees per kilowatt of maximum demand plus 10 pice per kilowatt hour, find overall cost per kilowatt hour. It is the problem given in the textbook. Now we need to solve this problem. How to solve it? Now they have given a what is the charge? It's a two-part tariff. 100 rupees per kilowatt of the maximum demand plus 10 pice per every kilowatt hour you consume. So what are the total charges now? Annual maximum demand charges plus annual energy charges. What is the maximum demand of that industry? 200 kilowatt. And what is the charge per kilowatt? 100. So 100 into 200 will be, it's simple, that is 20,000 rupees. Fine. But what about the annual charges? We have given 10 pice per unit. But what are the number of units? They didn't have given the number of units. In that place they have given load factor to find out the number of units. What is the load factor? Number of units consumed per year divided by maximum demand into hours in an year. Therefore, number of units consumed per annum. How could we get it? Maximum demand into load factor into hours in an year. So maximum demand is 200 kilowatt. Load factor is 0.4 and hours are 8760. If I multiply these three, I will get 7,800 kilowatt hour. So coming to the annual charges. Now it is the sum of annual maximum demand charges plus annual energy charges. Maximum demand charges means 100 rupees per kilowatt of maximum demand. Rupees 100 into 200. How many kilowatts are there? 200 kilowatts. So 100 into 200 plus 10 pice means 0.1 rupees into number of kilowatt hours. Number of kilowatt hours are 7,800. So if I add these two things, I will get 90,080 rupees. Now what is the overall cost per kilowatt hour? Total cost by total kilowatt hours. That's it. Total cost is 90,080 rupees. Total number of kilowatt hours are 7,800. So 90,080 by 7,800 will be 0.1285 rupees. If I multiply by 100, I will get in terms of pice. It is 12.85 pice. That is, the cost of per unit is 12.85 pice. It is the first problem. And second problem will be, the maximum demand of a consumer is 20 amperes at 220 volts. And his total energy consumption is 8,760 kilowatt hour. If the energy is charged at a rate of 20 pice per unit for first 500 hours use of the maximum demand per annum plus 10 pice per unit for additional units, calculate annual bill and then the equivalent flat rate means cost per kilowatt hour. So in this problem, let us first calculate the maximum demand. What is the maximum demand here? Maximum demand is kilowatt. Kilowatt means VI cos phi, because V is given as 220 volts, I is given as 20 amperes, but cos phi, power factor, is not given. Let us assume it as 1, unity. If they didn't give anything, we can assume it as unity for our simplicity. If you wanted to assume it as 0.8, you can do it. If you want to assume it as 0.9 also, you can do it. Anything is fine. But for the sake of simplicity, I am using 1. I am assuming 1 because they have not given it. So maximum demand will be 200 VI cos phi. So V is 220, I is 20, cos phi means 1. So 4,400 watts, which will be turned out to be 4.4 kilowatts. Right. So the maximum demand is 4.4 kilowatts. For first 500 units, what is the charge? 20 pice. For the first 500 hours of use of maximum demand, as mentioned in the problem. So what is the how to calculate the units? So power into time. So power energy is equal to power into time. So units consumed in first 500 hours will be power into time. So what is the power? 4.4 kilowatt. And what is the time? 500 hours. So 4.4 into 500, which will be 22,200 kilowatt hours. In the first 500 hours, the industry has consumed 2,200 kilowatt hours, and For this 2200 kilowatt hours, the charge is 20 pice, that is 0.2 rupees. Therefore 0.2, the charges for the 2200 hours will be, units will be, per unit it will be 0.2 rupees. Therefore 0.2 into 2200, which will be 440 rupees. How many units are remaining? Total units are, as in the problem it is mentioned, the total units consumed are 8760 kilowatt hour. So 8760 minus 2200 will be 6560 kilowatt hour is the remaining units. For the remaining units, the charge is 10 pice, that is 0.1 rupees. Therefore 0.1 into 6560, which will be 656 rupees. Therefore total annual bill will be 440 rupees plus 656 rupees, which will be 1096 rupees. That is the equivalent flat rate is the first bit. To the first problem is to calculate the annual bill. So the total annual bill will be charges for 2200 kilowatt hour plus charges for 6560 kilowatt hour, which will be 440 plus 656, and the total amount will be 1096. What is the equivalent flat rate? Cost per kilowatt hour. Total cost will be 1096. What are the total kilowatt hours? 8760 kilowatt hours. So what is the cost? 0.125 rupees, or if I multiply by 100, I will get 12.5 paise. Now let's do the third problem. The following two tariffs are offered. Tariff number 1, rupees 100 plus 15 pice per unit. Flat, it is a two-part tariff, 100 rupees plus 15 pice per unit. And second tariff is a flat rate of 30 pice per unit. At what consumption is first tariff economical? That means, what is the number of, at what consumption means, what is the number of kilowatt hours we have to consume so that the first tariff will be economical. So let x is the number of units consumed. Let x is the number of units consumed, and then we'll equate this both. So first one, so 100 plus 15 paisa per number of units are x, and cost per unit is 15 pice. 15 pice will be 0.15 rupees. So 0.15 rupees into number of cost per unit will be x. So 100 plus 0.15 x is the first tariff. What is second tariff? Flat rate is 0.3 pice, 0.3 rupees per unit, or 30 pice means 0.3 rupees per unit. That is 0.3 into x. So 100 plus 0.15x is the first tariff and 0.3x is the second tariff. Now let's equate both. So 0.15x, so 100 plus 0.15x is equal to 0.3x. So 100 equal to 0.5x. I will shift the 0.15x from left to right. I will get 0.15x equal to 100. So x is equal to 666.67 units. So at this number of units, both the tariffs will be same. Both the tariffs will be same. That means if I consume 666 units, tariff 1 and tariff 2 both will give me a same amount of charge. But what is the problem given we need to find out at what consumption is the first tariff economical. So let's take it out. Let's take, there is a 666 units. Let's take one tariff less than 666 units, and let's take one more thing which is greater than 666 units. Let's take case 1. I am taking the number of units as 100, which is less than 666, and substitute in the equation. That means calculate the first tariff. 100 plus 0.15 into x means 100. So which will be 100 plus 15, that is 115 rupees. Tariff 1. If I am consuming 100 units, as per the first tariff, my price is 115 rupees. Second tariff is 0.3 into 100, which will be 30 rupees. So if I taken a tariff less than 666, which is economical, second tariff is economical. Up to 666 units, up to 665 units, tariff 2 is economical and tariff 1 is costly. More than, if I am consuming more than 666 units, let's take 1000 units. Let x is equal to 1000. Now let's calculate the individual tariffs. So 100 plus 0.15 into 1000. So which will be 100 plus 150, which will be 250 rupees is the tariff 1 for 1000 units of consumption. Second tariff will be 0.3 into 1000, which will be 300. So in the first case it will be 250, second case it will be 300. So which is economical? First one is economical. So more than 666 units, second one is costly and first one is economical. So the first tariff is economical The first tariff is economical if the consumption is more than 666.67 units. It is the conclusion for this problem. Let's take down the fourth problem. A supply is offering on the basis of a free fixed charge of 30 rupees per annum plus 3 pice per unit. The first tariff is rupees 30 per annum. It's fixed plus 3 pice per unit. And the second tariff is 6 pice per unit for first 400 units. For the first 400, it's a blockwood rate tariff. For the first 400 units, they are charging at 6 pice. For the remaining units, they are charging at 5 pice per unit. So now we have to calculate at what. So find the number of units taken per annum for which case the cost under the two tariffs becomes the same. At what consumption both the tariffs will be equal. Both the tariffs will be equal. They are asking. So first one is a two-part tariff and second one is a blockwood rate tariff. Now let's calculate the first one. So annual charges due to first tariff is 100. So 30 rupees plus 3 pice per unit. 3 pice means, let x be the number of units. 3 pice means 0.03 rupees. So 0.03 into x. So 30 plus 0.03x is the first tariff. And second tariff will be for the first 400 units. So 400, it will be 0.06. So 400 into 0.06. For the remaining units, total number of units are x. X should be more than 400. X should maybe 420, 430, 500, 1000, 10,000, anything. It should be more than 400. So x minus 400 into how much rupees? 0.5 pice means 0.05. If I multiply 0.06 into 400 will be 24 plus x into 0.05 minus 400 into 0.05 will be 20. So 24 minus 20 will be 4 plus 0.05x. Now let's equate these two. 30 plus 0.03x equal to 4 plus 0.05x. So from that, if I calculated the value of x, it comes around to be 1300 kilowatt hour. That is, at 1300 kilowatt hour consumption, both the tariffs will be giving the same tariff, same amount of cost. And the next problem, fifth problem. An electrical supply company having a maximum load of 50 megawatt generates 18 into 10 to the power of 7 units per annum. And the supply consumers have an aggregate demand of 75 megawatts. The annual expenses including capital charges are for fuel 90 lakhs, fixed charges concerning the generation 28 lakhs, fixed charges concerning the transmission and distribution 32 lakhs. Assuming 90% of the fuel charge is essential to running charges. Of the fuel charge which is given as 90 lakhs, 90% of it, which is 81 lakhs, is taken as a running charge, and the remaining 10%, that is 9 lakhs, is taken as a capital cost, as a fixed charge. And the loss in the transmission and distribution is 15% of the kilowatt hour generated. For example, for every 100 units generated, because of transmission and distribution loss is 15%, only 85 units will reach the consumers. Therefore total number of units will be 0.15 times the total number of units generated. Deduce a two-part tariff to find the actual cost of supply to the consumers. Now we have to deduce a two-part tariff. What is two-part tariff? A into B into kilowatt plus C into kilowatt hour. Now we need to find out what is B and we need to find out what is C. B is what? Charge per kilowatt of maximum demand, and C is what? Charge per unit of energy consumed. Now let's calculate the annual fixed charges first. B is a fixed charge and C is a running charge. So let's calculate B first, that is annual fixed charges. For generation it will be 28 lakhs, that is 28 into 10 to the power of 5 rupees. For transmission and distribution it is 32 lakhs, that is 32 into 10 to the power of 5 rupees. And for fuel it is only 90% of it will be contributed towards the running charge, and only 10% will be there for the fixed charges, that is 90 into 10 to the power of 5 into 0.1, 10% will be 9 lakhs, 9 into the power of 5. So total fixed charges are cost of generation, cost of transmission and distribution, cost of the fuel, that is 28 plus 32 plus 9 lakhs, which will be 69 lakhs. 69 into 10 to the power of 5 rupees. Now cost per kilowatt of maximum demand. B is nothing. What is B? B is nothing but total cost by total maximum demand. What is the total maximum demand? 75 megawatts as mentioned in the problem. So total cost will be 69 lakhs, that is 69 into 10 to the power of 5, and total demand will be 75 megawatt we required for kilowatt, that is 75 into 10 to the power of 3 kilowatts. So what is that? We'll get rupees 92. So B is 92. It is the B. Let's calculate the running charges. Now cost of fuel, 90% of the cost of fuel is attributed to the running charges. So 90% means 0.9 into fuel cost is 90 lakhs, that is 90 into 10 to the power of 5, which will be 81 lakhs. And what about the units delivered by the consumer? Units delivered to the consumer means 85% of the units are only delivered to the consumer, because there is a loss of 15% in the transmission and distribution. Therefore total number of units generated is, as in the problem, it is 18 into 10 to the power of 7 units, of which only 85% of the units only reached the consumer, that is 0.85 into 18 into 10 to the power of 7, so which will be 15.3 into 10 to the power of 7 kilowatt hour. So what is the cost per kilowatt hour? That is C. That is cost per kilowatt hour is C. Therefore total cost is 81 lakhs, that is 81 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by how many units reached the consumers? 15.3 into 10 to the power of 7 kilowatt hours. So we will get 0.053 rupees, which will be multiplied. If I multiply by 100, I will get 5.3 paise. Therefore the tariff is 92 rupees per kilowatt of maximum demand plus 5.3 paise per kilowatt hour, which means B is 92, C is 5.3 paise or 0.053 rupees. Therefore total two-part tariff will be 92 into total number kilowatt plus 0.053 into kilowatt hours. And let's see the last problem of the unit. A generating station has a maximum demand of 50,000 kilowatts. Calculate the cost per unit generated from the following data. The data given is capital cost is 95 into 10 to the power of 6, which is nothing but 950 lakhs or 9.5 crores. Annual load factor is 40%. Annual cost of fuel and oil is 9 into 10 to the power of 6, that is 90 lakhs. Then taxes, wages and salaries etc. will be 7.5 into 10 to the power of 6. Interest and depreciation is 12%. Interest is 12% and depreciation is also, both combinedly it's 12%. So they have given annual load factor, means the only reason they have given the load factor is to calculate the number of units. So number of units generated per annum is nothing but maximum demand into load factor into number of hours in a year. Maximum demand is 50,000, load factor is 40%, which is 0.4, and number of hours in a year is 8760. It will comes around 17.52 into 10 to the power of 7 kilowatt hour. This is the number of units generated by the power plant. Let's keep it aside. Now let's calculate the total charges. Annual fixed charges. What are the fixed charges here? Interest and depreciation is only the fixed charge, and remaining all are the running charges only, because the fuel and oil is a running charge, taxes, wages and salaries are also running charges. So what are the fixed charges? Capital cost is 95 into 10 to the power of 6, and 12% of this cost is a interest and depreciation to be paid by the industry to the bank, and therefore 12% of the capital cost, that is 12% means 12 by 100, which will be 0.12 into 95 into 10 to the power of 6, which will be 11.4 into 10 to the power of 6 rupees is the annual interest and depreciation paid to the bank, which is nothing but the running fixed charges. Coming to the running charges, what are the running charges? There are two running charges here. One is the annual cost of fuel and oil, which is 9 into 10 to the power of 6, plus taxes, wages and salaries, which is 7.5 into 10 to the power of 6. If I add both, it will comes out to be 16.5 into 9 plus 7.5, which will be 16.5 into 10 to the power of 6. So total annual charges will be total fixed charges plus total running charges. Annual fixed charges are 11.4 into 10 to the power of 6. Annual and running charges are 16.5 into 10 to the power of 6. If I add these two, I will get 27.9 into 10 to the power of 6. So what is the cost per total charges are 27.9 10 to the power of 6. Total number of units generated are 17.52 into 10 to the power of 7 kilowatt hour. So what is the cost per unit generated? Total cost is 27.9 to the power of 6. Total number of units are 17.52 into 10 to the power of 7 kilowatt hour. So it will comes out to be 0.16. If I multiply by 100, it will be 16 pies. So these are we have discussed almost 6 problems in this tariff, and I am giving you 4 problems as tutorial problems. You just go through these problems and solve them. Thank you. All the best for your exams.